Welcome to Salem Witch Trials Daily. I'm Josh Hutchinson.
I'm Sarah Jack. Today we're looking far beyond the borders of Massachusetts, traveling across the Atlantic to the province of Elfdale in Sweden to examine an interesting place called Blockula.
You might be asking, what does the Swedish witch panic from the late 1660s have to do with Salem in 1692? As it turns out, quite a lot. To understand the how of Salem's spectral testimonies, we need to understand the story of the Swedish witches.
The accounts from Sweden provide a script for what a massive, organized witch conspiracy looks like.
The details are incredibly vivid. According to the accounts, the supposed witches would go to a gravel pit, put garments over their heads, and dance around. Don't we all? But then these ones, they would run to a crossroads and call upon the devil 3 times, chanting, "Antecessor, come and carry us to Blockula. Antecessor, come and carry us to Blockula. Antecessor, come and carry us to Blockula." It's like Beetlejuice or something. You just call the antecessor. They described the devil appearing at the crossroads wearing a gray coat, red and blue stockings, and a high crowned hat. He also had a red beard. This red bearded man would then call upon beasts to carry the witches to a great meadow, Blockula, where they held a witches' Sabbath.
And this is where the connection to Salem becomes critical. Before 1692, the concept of witchcraft in New England was usually much more grounded in local disputes, sick cows, or neighbors muttering curses. The idea of flying through the air to a massive diabolical party wasn't the standard narrative.
We've spoken with author Stacy Schiff about this, and she noted that before this period, witches in New England had never flown. The idea of a witch being able to fly to do her business was a continental concept.
And this concept came through the library of Reverend Cotton Mather.
Mather was a voracious reader. He'd obtained accounts of the European witch panic, specifically the Swedish witch trials of 1669, and incorporated these accounts into his own best-selling writings.
It's believed that the account of Blockula came to Mather through Joseph Glanvill's book, Decimus Triumphatus, which was published in 1681. This book contained the colorful tales of the devil in his stockings and high-crowned hat, and it made a significant impact on the minds of the people who would go on to prosecute the Salem witch hunt.
As Stacy Schiff pointed out, Mather essentially imported elements from Sweden that had never been seen before in New England witchcraft testimony.
Suddenly, we hear Tituba and others describing flying on poles to meetings. We hear about the devil carrying them. The accusers in Salem weren't just describing local folk magic anymore. They were describing a vast, organized conspiracy that mirrored the events at Blockula.
And we know that the afflicted people in Massachusetts were influenced by how the afflicted children behaved. In the Swedish witch panic known as the Great Noise, it was instigated by children telling these colorful tales of being abducted by witches and carried off to these Sabbaths. And in Salem, we don't have the abductions, but we have some of the afflicted people visiting these Sabbaths. So it's very interesting how behaviors match up. If you look at first the Swedish witch trials and then the Goodwin children in the Goody Glover case, and then the children and adults who became afflicted in the Salem witch trials. They're very consistent narratives that we find in the Swedish trials and the panic in Massachusetts.